Hey friends, welcome to Threat Hunting with Molly, where if it doesn't keep you up at night or scare the shit out of you, it's probably not worth looking for. All right, so today we are threat hunting for COVID-19 threats. There was a request, so MMI, I hope this is useful and it gets you some good information. All right, we gotta be strong. It's generally a terrifying world out there right now, so I don't know about you, but I'm incredibly busy at work. If you are lucky enough to be working, if you're in cybersecurity, you might also be an uptick because it's like an avalanche out there. So we can do it. We can be strong. All right. What do we know? It's a lure, right? This is a terrifying time, and terrifying times do a couple of things to people. They make them tired. And when we're tired, we don't think logically, we think quickly. And that is a recipe for destruction for phishing and scams in general. So I predict that as this pandemic moves on and continues to draw out, these threats are probably going to be more successful because the world is getting tired. So quick shout out to everyone who's dealing with this. Take care of yourself. Do the best you can. I have family that have it. Unfortunately, I'm sure some of you have family that have it and maybe have lost people, and for that, I'm really sorry. It's a pretty shitty time. And these people are making money off of it, so that's terrifying. Okay, who's doing it? Banking Trojans, ransomware, APT groups, bottom feeders, anyone who can make $1 are trying to. Impact, data destruction, ransomwares out there. There's a couple groups that are like, oh, we're not going to hit hospitals. And I don't know. What am I supposed to say? Thank you for not being that big of an asshole. But plenty of people are doing it. So intellectual property loss, PII loss. I have no doubt that there's going to be plenty of attacks that do not get caught and will turn into supply chain attacks later. So we need to be ever vigilant. How is it happening? Phishing, right? That's big. USB drives just being sent to people, left in parking lots. Remote access exploits, there's a bunch. Zoom is getting nailed. It's the 1st of April. I don't think I'd use Zoom if I were you until they get that fixed, by the way. And phone scams. So there's a lot of it going on out there. All right, quick hunt. If you're just hopping in to see if you can get some ideas, basically know your country. For the United States, Center for Disease Control will always be at cdc.gov. Always. Internationally, the World Health Organization will always be at who.int. To give you an idea of the huge numbers of domains that are being put out there, we will hop over for a second and take a look at. All right, so this website, thugcrowd.com, these are domains that are being created right now. It's a big list of them. Risk IQ has got a couple archives of them out for the last couple weeks. And darling, you can just scroll. Right? So if they've got a star in the front of them, pretty much those are going to be certificate HTTPS sites. Yeah, so lots going on. Okay. Now, happy hunting. If you're in for the quick hunt, I would start with only looking for legitimate domains, and then anything else is probably going to be malicious. So we are going to take a look at Netwalker today. And, oh, yeah, who's getting in on this fun? Everybody, including people we haven't seen very often. Zeus Sphinx. It's been dormant for a while. GinP, that's an Android, right? So this isn't just desktops. Yeah, everyone is doing it. All right, so let's take a look at some logs. Like I mentioned earlier, it looked at Netwalker, took a VBS script and ran it so we can maybe get some ideas. And it was specifically from a COVID-19 lure. So that is kind of the tie-in. Now, as for what there we go. What it looked like, just a mess. right? And so for this one, there was nothing that needed downloaded. There was a small executable that this extracts. I'm 99% sure because there was no network traffic of use anyways. So yeah, this was the VBS script. All right, now let's take a look at some logs. Like I said, nothing in the PCAP. I'll post it. Generally speaking, though, it was just some updates for the machine that got caught in it. But if you look and see something, oh, please put it in there. It's always nice. All right, so PowerShell. So using the sysmon configuration, we see this first one, is it actually being run? Okay, so this is how it would also run on an infected machine. WScript would run it. It's probably not going to be called coronavirus COVID-19, but it could be since it is lure. Actually, that is probably the name of what it was. All right, so if we take a look at what was going on, a couple of things to point out. So after it ran, Explorer opened it up, and we can see right there we go. That was the executable that was extracted, qesw.exe. Again, it's in our favorite app data local temp. All right, so always a great place to start fishing. There's some things that happen next that I can't completely confirm that it's Netwalker, so I'm going to move past them, but please take a look at them. They mostly involve Windows Defender and WMI, so could definitely be something. The triggering on side loading, and that's where like you rename a DLL just close enough to the original one that your malicious one gets loaded instead of the legitimate one. While that is the rule that fired, I think it is incorrect. So moving down to primarily what was seen. All right, again, we've got that. Notice it was called WTV converter. And almost there. All right. So what fired the most actually for my rules was masquerading. And that is because, well, it started to encrypt everything. And so it was renaming everything with an extension on the end of it. And that was triggering masquerading. So changing a legitimate file name in an incorrect place. So lots and lots of that. In fact, I'll show you how often it did fire. And you can see just how many events. Oh yeah, masquerading was 49. The other one we saw was a lot of time stamping. And so when this was encrypting the devices and putting the malicious, or the, I don't know, the tag on the end of it after it's been encrypted, it was changing the creation time. So every time that happened, it triggered a timestamp. So that was interesting. Looking at the application logs and system logs, something did show up that was interesting and unexpected. All right, so in the application log, we had this fire. Volume shadow copy service information, the COM server with CLLIST. That is for VSS admin. Access was denied. So this tried to erase shadow copies. Oh, and there's the application error message right there. But it wasn't able to. And so I'm using a Windows 10 machine with Defender turned off. So you do know, I think Defender would have caught this, the VB script as well, if it hadn't been disabled. So, all right. So while volume shadow usually ran for Netwalker, it couldn't hear. But that doesn't mean it couldn't still encrypt all of the files. We saw so we saw that in application, and then we saw it again in Oh, there's application. I think system. System is the other one it popped up in the logs. All right. So, gosh, that was kind of it. If you take a look, we can see what the note looks like. Right, there you go. It's real cheery. Yay, thanks, hi. You've been encrypted by Netwalker. All right. So, and then if you want to give them money, and I don't ever suggest anyone paying ransom, by the way. But of course, there are always extenuating circumstances. So, all right, TTP hunt and hypothesis. All right. So what did we see? We saw a script, a VBS file, creating an executable in app data local. Right, so that's always a good key. Saw a large number of files having their creation times changed, time stopping. Lots of those, so that's a key. And we saw errors involving VSS admin, particularly that it was denied. So that is great as far as my shadow copies went. And it's also maybe something to hunt for if you've got a similar configuration with Windows 10. MITRE taking a look, indirect command execution. And that was WScript. Schedule task. There was a schedule task API loaded. Right, and we've seen that in the past being malicious, but I couldn't tie a PID to it. Time stopping and masquerading. So I want to thank you for watching this kind of COVID-19 hunt. It's broad because there are so many scams out there. We took a look at Netwalker, and it had an interesting outcome. Not too much was caught. We didn't see the normal command line parameters for disabling and removing shadow copies because it was denied, but we still saw encrypted traffic that we detected through time stopping. So thank you so much. Be safe out there. If you have any questions, if you have anything you want me to analyze or get logs for so you can see what they look like, I'm happy to do it. We got to help each other. It's a hot damn mess out there right now. So take care of you and your loved ones, and thanks for tuning in.